What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Will. I'm a real estate agent out here in Los Angeles, California. On my channel, I talk about real estate, business, entrepreneurship, and I help newer agents on their journey in the real estate industry. Well, first off, guys, Happy New Year. I'm wishing you all a very, very blessed and successful new year. We got a great video to kick off the year, okay? Today, I'm going to be talking about what needs to be done in order to get your offer accepted on a home. I know all of my buyers out there just trying to figure out what the secret is and what you need to do in order to get your offer accepted on a home. I know how difficult it has been from the perspective of a real estate agent. It has been very tough on all of us, okay? And I know many agents out there are going to tell you guys like, yeah, if you work with me, I'm going to get your offer accepted with you and whatever like that. But unfortunately, the reality is that we are not Superman, and we can't just make anything happen. But what we can do, a good agent is going to do everything they can to get your offer accepted. And I'm going to talk about the few things that they should be doing in order to give you the highest possible chance to getting you the house and getting that offer accepted. Now, just so you know straight up before you watch the rest of my video, I am not just going to tell you to put a higher offer. Okay, that is extremely obvious. Like, obviously you should be putting the highest and best offer that you're willing to go to, especially in this market. We want to start off right and we want to start off strong. I myself have been in many bidding war situations, and I've been in many situations where I actually got my client's offer accepted even though we weren't the highest offer. So from a real estate agent's perspective, I kind of want to give you some of the tips that I use in order to give my clients the absolute best shot ever. So let's go right into it, not wasting any time, with strategy number one, which is making sure your agent is speaking to the listing agent before you put an offer on the house. I'm going to tell you right now, that is the most important thing that can be done when trying to get your offer accepted. The reason it's so important is because when your agent talks to the listing agent on the phone, you guys will gain clarity on every single thing that the seller actually wants out of an offer. Okay, many people only think that like the financial side of it is what goes into like getting the house and getting your offer accepted, but there's so much more into it as well. You have escrow days, you have contingencies, there's many things that the seller may be looking for that you may not even know about. Okay, they may need a 60-day escrow. They may need, some time after closing to keep the house, and may need some rent back, and might need to stay a little bit longer because it's going to take them a while to move. You don't know their situation, and you will never know unless your agent is calling them on the phone and finding out. I can't tell you guys how many situations I have been in while I'm helping out buyers where I didn't even have a counteroffer. We just got our offer accepted immediately. And the reason we got our offer accepted immediately is because I took the extra step to go ahead and call the listing agent. And when you put in all the information that the seller is looking for, there is not much for them to counter. Not to mention, calling the listing agent on the phone and finding out everything that the seller wants also shows your seriousness and determination to actually making it happen and getting the house. I know right now we are dealing with literally like 15 offers. We're like fighting 15 different offers at once on a house. So doing those little steps are extremely crucial. And now this is where hiring the right real estate agent really makes a difference in all of this, okay? I have talked to and met many agents whose personality, okay, they're rude. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. They are rude. They're honestly just not likable. You can't really get along with them. They don't have a personality. A lot of agents will call listing agents on the phone and immediately start being aggressive because some of them think that, yeah, that's what my client wants. My client wants me to just be aggressive. And, there are some parts in the process where you do need to be aggressive. There are also, most of the time, especially when it's with the listing agent, you don't want to burn any bridges. Okay, you want to be likable. I have gotten many offers accepted just by being a likable and genuine person. It'll take you a long way. So if you see that your agent is already way too aggressive from the get-go, and they're forcing you to do things and really trying to make you make decisions that you feel like you don't need to be making and you just feel uncomfortable, that is a huge red flag. And I'm telling you right now, that's probably how they treat the listing agent. It's probably how they would treat the seller. They're probably not going to get a deal done for you. So it's really important to know when the right time is to be aggressive and when the right time is to really just back off and try to get the home. So yes, make sure that the agent you hire is somebody who is likable, experienced, and knows how to talk to other people. Now let's move on to strategy number 2, which is going to be putting a higher earnest money deposit, okay? That is extremely important to listing agents and sellers. They notice those little details. And I know earlier in the video, I mentioned that I wouldn't just bring up putting in a higher offer or anything, financial. But the thing is about the earnest money deposit is that is money that is just going in with the purchase price of the home. That isn't something that's some extra financial figure that you need to put down that's above everything else that you're already paying for. So putting in a decent earnest money deposit will help you out immensely because it shows how serious and determined you are to actually getting the house. The average buyer will put down anywhere from like 1 to 2%. If the average buyer is putting down 1 to 2% and you're putting down 3%, that is showing that, obviously, like I said, 1, you're serious, and 2, it is showing that you're ahead of the game from everyone else, and it's going to make you stand out more than everyone else. But something I do want to mention with the earnest money deposit is you don't always have to put a high amount, okay? It honestly does depend sometimes on what the listing agent wants. Very rare scenario, but I have run into some scenarios, actually one pretty recently, where the listing agent just wanted a 1% earnest money deposit. Yeah, 1% earnest money deposit. So if you end up putting 3 when they ask for 1, that isn't going to put you in a good situation because now it's showing that your agent probably isn't paying attention to the details and they're not writing the offer the way the seller wants the offer to be written and the way the listing agent, wants to see the offer be written. So that goes back to strategy number 1 of listening and making sure you know what's going on and what the seller listing agent want. Now let's go ahead and move on to strategy number 3, which is going to be writing a personalized letter to the seller. Writing a personalized letter to the seller is something that is a pretty tricky thing nowadays because I'm not sure about other states, but I know where I'm at. Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles, California. We actually cannot write personalized letters anymore. I used to do it, and I gotta say, I hate the fact that we can't do it anymore because it was extremely helpful. It really allowed the sellers to understand and know who my clients were. It got them to know like who's going to be living at their house after, they move somewhere else. So I felt like it was something that was so great. But if you are in a state that does allow it, and if you don't know, just go ahead and talk to your agent about it. They should know that answer for you. If you are in a state where they are allowing that, I think it's extremely important that you do that because like I mentioned, that is something that I used to do before and it was extremely helpful for me in getting my clients their best foot forward and getting their offer accepted. So go ahead and find that out from your agent, see if you can do it. If you can, go ahead and do it. Maybe even throw in a family photo when you're sending the offer as well, or, just anything like that. Things that just make it personal because that will go a long way. Now moving on to my 4th and final strategy, which is going to be either removing or lowering your days on your contingencies, okay? Now this is another tricky one, okay? This is one that you're gonna want to talk to your agent about. I definitely don't want to sit here and make any recommendations to you. So just as a disclaimer, I'm telling you what your options are right now. I am not telling you to do this. I'm just letting you know what options you have in order to give yourself the benefit when you are putting in an offer. So the 3 main contingencies that we have are loan, appraisal, and inspection. Okay, and something to know about before we go into removing those or lowering those days is those contingencies are your protection throughout the transaction. Okay, without having those contingencies in place, and if you remove all of them, you put yourself at risk of losing your earnest money deposit if you want to back out of the deal. So just want to get that out the way first, but definitely consult your real estate agent about it, and you guys can think about what is best and what is the best decision for you at the time. But yes, you can lower your contingency days or remove them altogether. Unfortunately, that is actually the norm right now in most scenarios when getting a house. Most situations that are happening where offers are getting accepted, unfortunately, are people removing their appraisal contingencies, maybe even removing inspection contingencies. They may even just remove all of them, which is a huge risk you're taking. But sometimes it really, really will pay off, especially if it is a house you really want, like the one you just walk in, this is the one. Sometimes it may require you to go that extra step and do that. But again, go ahead and talk to your real estate agent about that so you guys can figure out what the best decision is in your scenario. But overall, about your contingencies, it will catch the eye of the seller. I know that for sure. I've had many scenarios where the listing agent asked me to remove contingencies when I call them on the phone and figure out what they want. And if we leave the contingencies in there, it is usually countered. So that is kind of what your issue is. But that's not every single scenario, so don't be discouraged and feel like, oh, that's what I'm going to have to do. That is not every single scenario. Okay, so like I said, every single situation is different, so you need to approach it and attack it in a different way. Sometimes you may have to write a different offer than you did on the last house and kind of make adjustments so that you can get that offer accepted. So your key takeaways from this video today are: make sure you are listening to the listing agent as well as the seller, or make sure your agent is listening to them. Consult your agent on the earnest money deposit and make sure they know what is the best to put down at the time, considering your situation with the sellers. And lastly, consulting your agent about your contingency days, whether removing them or lowering them. And now, no agent is actually just going to tell you straight up to do it, but they're just going to go over everything in the deal and kind of give you advice, but we can't really tell you what to do at the end of the day. That is your decision and that is your risk that you are taking. And that is all for today's video, guys. I hope you greatly enjoyed it, and I hope it benefits you as you go on your home shopping journey. If you have any other questions for myself, or you would like to use me as your agent, I don't only work in Los Angeles, California. Well, technically, if you want me present, then yes, I work in LA, but I also do have a national network of agents that will be able to assist you with the home buying process or the home selling process. So just make sure to contact me, leave a comment down below, follow me on my social medias. My Instagram and Facebook will be down in the description box below, so you can contact me on there as well. Make sure to subscribe to my weekly newsletter. My weekly newsletter will be posted every single Tuesday, and I talk about the real estate market, its conditions, and current events that are going on. And make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really does help me out, and it helps me grow. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment. But other than that, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you all on the next one.